Hi, Chad. I'm about to fly into a rage. I was just recording for 30 minutes and it wasn't screen recording. It was just the Minecraft. It was just this page the whole time with me talking over it. Um I'm going to make a new world that I will call Hi Chat 2. Um and this time I will check to make sure it's working, but we got a mangrove. I like the new flower. I haven't actually seen that in the game yet. And a camel. And a village. Okay, this is a better seed anyway. I'm, right. So, the supply's less, but, yeah, the supply's less now that I'm on my second recording. But, basically, I just finished my first job interview, and I'm trying to make a recorded record of it to think back on because I don't know. I just want to remember, and I feel like it'll be good to talk it out. Usually I just write this down. I'm a pretty big journaler. Tadpoles. Maybe? Oh no, they're just fish. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I wanna talk out my job interview because I've been applying for jobs for the past 1.5 months. I would say, and it's been I didn't know they grew like that. I didn't know they started short and then grew longer. That's interesting. These are like the worst trees to chop down. Maybe I shouldn't have come over here. I should have gone to the village first. So, yeah, I had this interview. It went pretty well. I'm poorly spoken and I'm really awkward. Hello, buddy. I kept misremembering words. Wow, awesome. Like, I couldn't remember the word patron, like library patron. So I said the opposite of the operational side. Which was embarrassing. And then the other thing is, this always happens when I shake someone's hand. I'm so embarrassed because I've, like, anytime I'm in a position where I have to shake somebody's hand, it's always something academic or professional, and I'm always nervous, so my hands are always sweaty. It's so bad. So I was embarrassed of those two things. But other than that, it went pretty well. I told him about my interests. Hello, little fellow. I told him he asked me what kind of librarian I wanted to be, and I told him I wanted to be a public librarian, which is why I was applying to the public library. And he was happy about that because apparently a lot of people use the public library as an entry-level librarian position, and then want to move on to a different kind of librarianship. A lot of people don't know, so I don't know how much I should explain. I guess it's not really that useful to explain, but there's a lot of different kinds of librarians. What the heck is the point of this? There's lots of different kinds of librarians. What is the point of that? I've never seen that before. What am I talking about? Oh, there's two. What is the purpose of this? Um, there's archival librarians, and I think that's the most popular kind. I just looked at that. Where you, that's kind of the historical librarian aspect. So they have old-timey documents. They have, people's, I worked at an archival library for a little bit, which was really cool. I see why it's such a popular career. They had old wallpaper sample books, which was really cool. They had so many interesting like textures in those books. They had old like diaries from the 1800s, old collage books. They had old advertisements, old magazines. They had my favorite thing that they had was it was a brochure for an armadillo farm. And the brochure talked about all the kinds of things you could make out of armadillo leather, like purses and stuff. And then the last page was like, they also make great pets. You can adopt an armadillo. It was so strange I don't even know. It was kind of sad because they're like, we're gonna like murder all these armadillos to make stuff out of their skin, or you can get one as a pet. You don't usually see that. I feel like normally animals are pets or getting like used. But anyway, archival librarianship is very cool. If you're a historian looking for a career, that is pretty. I don't know. It is hard to get a career in that because, like I said, it's popular, but it's super cool. And there's other kinds of librarians too. Like there's the academic librarian. They work at like research centers in colleges, and then obviously there's the school librarian. I don't even remember why I went off about that, but I want to talk about my interview. Like I said, it went well. I feel a little weird because kind of nepotism came through for me because the guy that was interviewing me told me his wife worked at the college I went to, and his wife apparently said she said like, oh, if it's a student, you have to hire him. It's so funny. I'm lucky. I guess as a joke though, I don't think I'm guaranteed the job, but should I wear the cursive binding leggings? Probably not. This is almost complete. I have like enough to complete this right now. Oh, but it's in the water. And I have to remove that. Okay, I'll be back. I need wood, but I don't want to cut down the mangrove tree. Oh. I'm gonna go sleep. But I think, I don't know. I'm not really sure what else there is to say about the interview, actually. Even though that's the whole point. I don't know. He mostly... I think the main thing was just for me to, like, show my face and to see everything. Because he was like, sorry, I'm gonna steal your bed. Sorry, buddy. My interviewer, told me that well, I don't know. Let me think about what I'm gonna say. He was like, he told me a bunch about like library grad school and stuff, and he asked me how I got into wanting to be a librarian. which I told him I never know like how much to say about this because I don't know if it's a bad look or if it's just like being honest, but I didn't want it to be a librarian until somewhat recently because I guess I'll just go over like everything. I wanted to be a writer since I was a little kid, and obviously when you're a little kid, you can want to be anything. Nobody really cares. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write novels, and I'm gonna be rich. And the adults around me were like, hell yeah, he's gonna write novels. He's gonna make us all rich. But then when it came time to go to like college, first of all, I did not want to go to college because I didn't have a good experience in high school. But it worked out. It was fine. But I was like, yeah, let me go to like creative writing school. And the adults in my life were like, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. And it was obviously became clear that you can want to be a writer, but you need to have like a day job. And so another village. I went to a school that was kind of a unique school because I was an English student, but their English program has like a creative writing, a big creative writing emphasis. So I had a creative writing minor, which is just like a smaller version of a major, if you don't know, which I most people probably do. I don't know, but I studied creative writing a lot, and the big emphasis at my school too was like, okay, we're getting these kids ready. Oh, it's not a village, it's a pyramid. It's like we're getting these kids ready to be writers, and for the most part, they kind of assumed we would want to go into. I might live in here. They kind of assumed that we would want to go into publishing as a job, which, to be fair, I kind of did because it seemed really cool to be like involved in publishing books. Like, oh, my favorite books were published. Why would I not want to be on the inside of that? But working in publishing, I've done like some stuff while I was in college. It's just a lot, and I didn't really like it in the end because I don't know. I feel like you hear this a lot about creative writing departments, that people just like get big egos a lot. And in my department, some of them were kind of well earned. Those like some of my classmates are such good writers. It's actually crazy. But I don't know why I made this, but I don't know. In terms of publishing, the more I got involved in publishing, the more I became like almost grossed out by it. I don't know how else to put it because I don't know. Every writer just really has something to prove, especially in publishing. It just becomes so normal to be like, this isn't good enough. And obviously that's the whole point. In a way, is to be selective. I don't know. People just got really used to like, ooh, being kind of snobby? I don't know. I went to a convention for publishers and writers, and it was really cool, but the vibe was not really something I wanted to be like a part of. I don't know. Not like it was horrific or anything, but it made me realize that I wanted to rethink my career because I just realized I would be miserable in publishing. Oh, That's good. Um, when I went to the conference, I roomed with someone from my school who was much older than me, and for one thing, he was really cool. I liked him. I'm glad I got to room with him. But he he's so talented. He kind of has a right to say whatever he wants, but he was like sitting next to him on the plane because this convention was really far away from my school. He told me that there was a guy next to him that was writing a poem, and he was like, "Oh, this guy's definitely going to the convention too." And he was like, the poem was really like, I don't know, but what he said, everybody thinks that they can write poetry, which from his perspective, it kind of makes sense because I feel like when you're like a professional poet and you see people just like writing really silly poems, it is, I guess it is kind of like, I don't know, maybe you're like, I need to set myself as different than this because I've worked so hard. And I understand that, but I don't know. I'd rather work in an industry where it's genuinely more like, yeah, everyone can write poetry. Why not? I don't know. Because the publishing industry is so competitive, and like, you have to be kind of pretentious and snobby to do publishing, because the whole point is trying to decide what's best, what deserves to be put out there. And it works for a lot of people as a career, but um I don't know. I'm I'm admire people who go into publishing. I think it's cool, and they should be proud of what they do. But I just know it would it would suck my soul out, I'm pretty sure. Which isn't, I'm not like, I don't know. I like the power of being able to say like, this gets published, this doesn't get published. And when I did work in publishing is kind of a over the top way of putting it. When I worked for reading for a small magazine, it was fun to read the stories and to decide what gets passed up and what doesn't. Um, I just know that a career that is going to be meaningful to me is going to be something where I can help beginners. Not even help beginners, but like work with people that are just in it because it's fun. Dude, another thing in my school that was kind of big was during our creative writing classes, there would be debates about what makes art. It's so I know somebody like it feels so funny saying this stuff because it's like the like liberal arts school hellscape come to life. Like it feels like a stereotype or like a cartoon or something, but it was real. They would, but yeah, the professors would be like, what makes real art? And um I don't remember exactly what the context was, but we were talking about art, and I can't remember why, but some kid was like, in this video game I played, this happened, and the teacher was like, we're talking about art right now, not video games. And I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. And I think about that all the time, and that was like part of what made me realize like, whatever, like, I do not fit in uh to like any ideas about creativity here. Um but I think he was joking. The professor was like part joking, but I don't know. That professor is hard to read. And then there was another time where a different professor was talking about like what makes art like real art, and he was talking about how having an audience makes it real art, which is so silly to me. Like, I can see that, but I don't know. I think just like having fun and being creative is what's important, but they would never ever think of having fun as a as part of the oh my gosh, I really need coal. I should have stolen a bed. I thought this was another village. They would not think of having fun as part of the artist experience. They think of it as like craft, which is fair. It is like that. I don't know, and they're professors, and this is academia, so having fun, if they were like, yeah, it's art if you're having fun, that would not really necessarily be productive. But I don't know. Funny. It's funny. Breathing. Stop breathing in my ear. This is kind of a bad episode. I forget what I'm even saying. I just want to work in an environment where like having art or making art means having fun, and just I don't know. You have to learn, and like there's something to that too. There should be maybe a challenge to it, but I really just don't think that's everything. I don't know. A lot of my classmates are ending up working in publishing though, which is so cool. I admire them. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot they can go up there. Oh! How did they get in? How did they get in? Oh my gosh, it's over. It's so over. Get away from me. Oh my god! No! 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 Get me out! No! Good lord. Okay. I've talked as much as I can. I think I'm done for now. Goodbye, chat.